lives are full of journeys. And this is one of mine.
I'll tell you right now, nothing extraordinary happens when I get home safely. But there's a story here anyway. What is it about the American West? It's all those cliches. The New World. Go west, young man. Wide open spaces. The new frontier. Epic landscape. The American dream. I don't remember when Zion first popped on my radar. Years ago, possibly pre-internet. The iconic western landscape. And for good reason. It's been the backdrop for scores of movies and television shows, from 1924's Deadwood Coach to 2001's Planet of the Apes, with the Lone Ranger, Lassie, and the outlaw Josie Wells thrown in.
I notice when you get to disliking someone, they ain't around for long either.
So here's the plan. Head out on a Saturday from near the Texas-Louisiana border and drive 1,500 miles to Zion National Park. The first day, I didn't even make it out of Texas. Sunday, I burned up some interstate. Miles and miles of America. Crossing New Mexico and part of Arizona. Across the Colorado River in Glen Canyon, the National Park's indoor observation deck gives a bird's eye view of the Glen Canyon Dam and Lake Powell, the nation's second largest artificial lake. I landed in Kanab, Utah, an hour's drive from Zion. Remember all those movies and TV shows shot here? Well, the Perry brothers marketed southern Utah as an alternative to Hollywood, a little Hollywood, and it worked. I stayed at Perry's Lodge, built to cater to the stars. An actual key instead of a key card, basic cable, and a peculiar odor. Welcome to Little Hollywood, baby. Monday's drive took me through the Zion Mount Carmel Tunnel. More than a mile long, it was the longest tunnel of its type when finished in 1930. Its purpose? To connect a series of national parks in the area. The light at the end of the tunnel? Zion Canyon. 15 miles long, half a mile deep, and with an elevation change of 5,000 feet. The Virgin River, fed by snowmelt from the Colorado Plateau, has carved a canyon into the desert. The life-giving waters cascade from the canyon walls, creating microclimates and ecosystems for plants, animals, and people. Several waves of Native Americans farmed and hunted Zion Canyon, followed by Mormon pioneers. While the name implies a place of refuge, all found the flash floods and droughts made a difficult life here. The canyon was first put under federal protection in 1909 as a national monument using its Native American name. But when the newly formed National Park Service took over the canyon 10 years later, it changed the name to something more easily recognizable, the biblical Zion. Many of the trails here were built in the 20s and 30s, and this is one of Zion's classics, the Trail to Angel's Landing. It winds its way for 2.5 miles up the canyon with a series of paved switchbacks. But it's the last half mile that makes this hike unforgettable. It leads out onto a sandstone spine with a sheer drop-off on either side. Guide chains assist with the climb.
I'll wait
Yep.
here.
Okay.
It has the feel of an amusement park ride, both for its thrill and the waiting in line. This 94-year-old man is attempting to climb. I passed him and never saw him at the top or on the way back. But an 82-year-old successfully made it. The view from Angel's Landing is 360 degrees and something to just soak in and to post to Facebook. It's hard not to be in awe of this place, and the fact that you had to work so hard and probably cheated death to get here makes it all that much better. Here's to the victors and the survivors. Better save something for the trip back down.
However, the river is not easily controlled, and as we travel upstream, you will discover areas that have returned to their natural course.
15 years ago, the National Park Service shut off automobile traffic on the upper part of the canyon and put in place a shuttle system. The buses run constantly, and you can see much of the canyon without ever getting out. Zion is in the top 10 most visited national parks in the country, almost 2.5 million people a year. That's a lot of people in a canyon. This is what's called a front country experience. Lots of water fountains, restrooms, and paved trails. Here in the upper canyon, the walls narrow, leading to a place where the trail leads to the river, and the Virgin River becomes the trail. But that unique hiking experience awaits. It's getting late, and as I'm making my way back in the dark, a park ranger stops and asked if I'd passed the injured party. No, I said, and with her medical bag in hand, she says, "Weird." I later heard a river hiker had fallen and injured his face. An ambulance arrived as I waited for the shuttle.
Oh, here's the bus, guys. Get off the
Staying in the front country of Zion is as much about interfacing with people as anything else. And nowhere is this more evident than on the Emerald Pools Trail. It's family-friendly, it's kid-friendly, and it's fairly easy, making its way up the canyon through a series of waterfalls and pools. I witnessed dozens of human dramas and heard many languages spoken.
Stop kicking dirt on me.
But here we were all in some way united by the grandeur of Zion. My final hike of the second day is up the Watchman Trail to watch the sunset. The path gives another view into the canyon as you climb higher and higher and the sun sinks. It's the night of the second presidential debate. I watched the sunset on this national park, listen to the debate on National Public Radio, and think about what it means to be an American. Watching the sunset means walking back at night. It's a darkness that raises a little panic. Watch your step and don't get lost. I spend my 3 nights at Zion National Park in a south campground, sleeping in my minivan. No fussing with a tent or sleeping on the ground. Like I said, this was a front country experience. My final Zion hike took me into the Narrows, where the canyon closes in and the river becomes the trail. I rented special equipment, river shoes, neoprene socks, and dry pants, waterproof with a rubber gasket that seals the pants at the ankle. I never felt the 51-degree water. Others hike the river wearing nothing more special than trail shoes. The canyon offers different views around each turn and plays tricks with the light throughout the day. Time seems to be ever present here, but on a scale we can't come to terms with. How long did it take the water to carve this canyon? How persistent must the rushing waters be? You can backpack this trail, another experience for another day. I left Zion Canyon knowing I'd only touched its surface, visited the highlights. I was a tourist on this visit. This would be an entirely different experience to backpack it, to get away from the people and immersed in its landscapes. My journey here is over, and I'm headed for home, but not directly home. I was too close to the Grand Canyon not to pay it a visit, so I headed south to the North Rim. It's hard to say anything about the Grand Canyon. Its vastness is overwhelming, its scale difficult to comprehend. A journey from rim to river would give some perspective, but not on this journey, not this time. One final stop, then a dash for home. Meteor Crater near Winslow, Arizona. 50,000 years ago, a meteorite crashed into the desert, creating this impact crater larger than 20 football fields. It's Earth's giant ball of string, one this tourist couldn't pass up. From here, the trip is all downhill, literally, back to the Texas coast. I told you in the beginning, nothing extraordinary happens, and I get home safely. So what's the story? Sometimes it's okay to be a tourist? What was supposed to happen? Live off the land? Well, I did kill a deer, driving into Zion the first time. It stopped in the road, too close, eye contact, and then it was over. One journey ends, and another goes on. I make one more stop, but I don't know if it counts. a roadside park built around a spring in Tyler County, Texas, just far enough away from where I live to be a day trip. I always stop here given a chance. I'm back in my old stomping grounds. And somewhere back there, and for longer than any of us can imagine, is Zion.